Have you ever wondered what happens when fate throws a curveball right into the lap of luxury? Picture this: a sleek, cherry-red Mustang GT cruising down a sun-baked highway in the heart of Texas, its engine purring like a contented lion, until, suddenly, bam, it coughs, sputters, and grinds to a halt in a cloud of dust. That's exactly what happened to Alexander Harrington, a self-made millionaire whose life was a whirlwind of board meetings, private jets, and multi-million-dollar deals. At 52, with silver streaks in his perfectly coiffed hair and a watch that cost more than most people's houses, Alex wasn't used to things not going his way. He popped the hood, staring blankly at the maze of wires and metal, his designer suit already starting to wilt in the heat. Sweat beaded on his forehead as he pulled out his phone. No signal, of course. Miles from the nearest town, he cursed under his breath, kicking at the gravel. Just when he thought he'd have to hike it, a rusty old pickup truck rumbled into view, kicking up more dust. Behind the wheel was a young woman, no older than 22, with rich brown skin glowing under the sun, her hair tied back in a practical ponytail, grease stains on her overalls. She hopped out with a toolbox in hand, her eyes sharp and confident. "Looks like you're in a pickle, mister," she said with a warm smile that lit up her face. Alex blinked, surprised, not just by her arrival, but by how effortlessly she assessed the situation. Her name was Maya Johnson, a local mechanic who'd grown up tinkering with engines in her grandfather's garage. She didn't bat an eye at the luxury car. To her, it was just another machine needing love. As she dove under the hood, her hands moved. With the precision of a surgeon, diagnosing a faulty alternator in minutes, Alex watched in awe, chatting idly to pass the time. He learned she was studying engineering part-time, dreaming of opening her own shop. Little did he know, this chance encounter was about to unearth a secret buried for decades. While she worked, wiping sweat from her brow, Alex's eyes caught a glint on her finger, a ring, old and ornate, with a peculiar engraving that made his heart skip a beat. It looked familiar, too familiar. But how? The sun beat down as Maya tightened bolts and replaced parts she'd luckily had in her truck, her laughter echoing when Alex joked about his mechanical ineptitude. Hours passed, the conversation flowing like they'd known each other forever. She shared stories of her childhood, raised by a single mom after her dad vanished when she was a baby. Alex nodded, a strange unease building in his chest. Finally, the engine roared back to life, and Maya stepped back, triumphant. "There you go, good as new," she said, extending her hand for a shake. That's when he saw it clearly, the ring. His ring, the one he'd lost 23 years ago during a reckless night that changed his life forever. Shock washed over him like a tidal wave, his face paling. Was this possible? Could this young woman be his daughter? The realization hit hard, freezing him in place as memories flooded back. Of a brief affair, a promise broken, and a life left behind. Maya noticed his stare, tilting her head. "Something wrong?" she asked innocently. Alex stammered, trying to compose himself, but the pieces were falling into place. This wasn't just a repair. It was destiny knocking. As the Mustang idled, ready to go, Alex knew he couldn't just drive away. He had to know more, had to uncover the truth. But how do you tell a stranger she might be family? The air thickened, with unspoken questions, the highway stretching endlessly before them. Maya's ring sparkled mockingly, a silent witness to secrets long kept. Alex took a deep breath, deciding to invite her for coffee in town, anything to buy time. She agreed, curious about the sudden shift in his demeanor. As they drove separately, toward the diner, Alex's mind raced, piecing together timelines, faces, and regrets. Maya, oblivious, hummed along to the radio in her truck, proud of another job well done. Little did she know, her world was about to turn upside down. pulling into the dusty parking lot of Joe's Diner, a classic roadside spot with neon signs. Flickering open 24/7, Alex parked his revived Mustang next to Maya's battered pickup. He stepped out, still reeling from the sight of that ring, his hands trembling slightly as he adjusted his tie. Inside, the place smelled of fresh coffee and sizzling bacon, the kind of aroma that grounds you in reality. They slid into a booth by the window, the vinyl seats creaking under them. Maya ordered a black coffee and a slice of apple pie, while Alex opted for the same, though his appetite had vanished. As the waitress poured their drinks, Alex stole glances at her hand, the ring catching the fluorescent light. It was unmistakable, the antique gold band with a small sapphire engraved with Forever A, H on the inside. He'd given it to his college sweetheart, Elena, during a passionate summer romance before he struck it rich. But life pulled them apart. He pursued fortune in the city. She stayed in this small town. He'd heard she'd had a child, but assumed it wasn't his, until now. Maya stirred her coffee, chatting animatedly about her love for cars. "I've been fixing 'em since I could hold a wrench," she said, her eyes sparkling with passion. "Grandpa taught me everything. Mom worked 2 jobs, so the garage was my playground." Alex nodded, his voice steady despite the storm inside. "Sounds like a tough but rewarding life." "What about your father?" he ventured carefully. Maya's smile faltered for a second. "Never knew him. Mom said he was a dreamer who left for bigger things. She gave me this ring, said it was from him, a keepsake." Alex's heart pounded. Elena had kept it, passed it to their daughter. He fought the urge to blurt everything out, instead asking about her dreams. She wanted to innovate eco-friendly engines, make cars accessible for everyone. As they talked, Alex shared snippets of his life, the loneliness behind the wealth, the regrets of choices made. The diner buzzed around them, truckers laughing, plates clattering, but for Alex, the world narrowed to this moment. He noticed similarities, her determined jaw, the way she gestured like Elena, like him. Guilt gnawed at him. He'd abandoned them unknowingly. Or had he? Memories resurfaced of Elena's letter years ago, mentioning a pregnancy, but he'd dismissed it as a ploy. Now, face to face with the consequence, shame burned hot. Maya finished her pie, wiping her mouth with a napkin. "You seem distracted, Mr. Harrington. Everything okay with the car?" He forced a smile. "The car's perfect. You remind me of someone." She laughed it off, but curiosity flickered in her eyes. As the sun dipped lower, casting golden hues, through the window, Alex suggested they exchange numbers for any future car troubles, he said. "Really?" It was to buy time to verify the truth. They parted ways, Maya waving cheerfully as she drove off. Alex sat in his Mustang, staring at the ring's photo he'd sneakily snapped. Back at his hotel that night, he paced the room, phone in hand, debating whether to call Elena. The past collided with the present, forcing him to confront the man he'd become. Meanwhile, Maya arrived home to her modest apartment, kicking off her boots, the ring a familiar weight on her finger. She texted her mom about the odd millionaire, chuckling at the day's adventure. Little did she know, that ring was the key to unlocking a family secret that would bridge worlds apart. The next morning dawned bright and clear, with Alex Harrington nursing a hangover of emotions rather than alcohol in his luxury suite overlooking the town. He hadn't slept a wink, replaying every detail of the previous day. The ring haunted him, proof of a life he could have had, a daughter he never knew. Determined to uncover the truth, he drove to the local library, poring over old records and newspapers on a hunch. Elena Johnson, yes, that was her maiden name. Birth records showed Maya born 9 months after their split. It fit. Heart racing, he dialed the number from an old address book. Elena's voice, older but still melodic, answered. "Alex? After all these years? Shock laced her words. He confessed seeing Maya, the ring. Elena sighed deeply. She's yours, Alex. I tried to tell you, but you were gone. Tears welled as she recounted raising Maya alone, giving her the ring as a connection to her absent father. Alex apologized profusely, begging for a chance to make amends. Elena agreed to meet, but warned, Maya doesn't know. Tread carefully. Back in town, Maya started her day at the garage, elbow deep in an old Chevy, her mind wandering to the mysterious millionaire. Why had he stared at her ring like that? Shaking. It off? She focused on work, bantering with co-workers. By afternoon, Alex arrived at Elena's cozy home on the outskirts, nerves frayed. She greeted him warily, gray streaking her hair, but her eyes held the same fire. They talked for hours, regrets, explanations, the what-ifs. Elena showed photos, Maya as a baby, toddler, graduate. Alex's eyes misted. He'd missed it all. I want to be part of her life, he pleaded. Elena nodded slowly. But it's her choice. Together they planned to tell Maya that evening. Meanwhile, Maya received a text from Alex. Coffee again? Important. Intrigued, she agreed. At the diner, the trio met, Elena already there with Alex. Maya's eyes widened. Mom? What's going on? They sat, Elena taking her hand. Sweetie, this is your father. The words hung heavy. Maya stared at Alex, then the ring, pieces clicking. Shock, anger, confusion swirled. Why now? After all this time? Alex explained honestly. The lost ring, the chance breakdown, his ignorance. Tears flowed as Elena filled in gaps. Maya listened, her world shifting. By evening's end, tentative forgiveness bloomed. Alex offered support, college funds, business startup. But Maya, strong-willed, wanted time. As they hugged awkwardly, a family reunited, the Mustang outside symbolized the journey's start. Days turned into weeks as Maya grappled with her new reality, the revelation like a seismic shift in her foundation. She threw herself into work, repairing cars with renewed vigor, but questions lingered. Alex, back in the city, rearranged his life, delegating business, making room for family. He visited often, starting small. Dinners, drives in the Mustang, sharing stories. Maya learned about his rise from nothing, mirroring her ambitions. The ring became a bridge, not a barrier. One weekend, Alex surprised her with a tour of his company, introducing her to engineers. Her eyes lit up at the tech, ideas sparking. I could revolutionize this, she said. Alex beamed, proud. Elena watched, happily wounds healing. Challenges arose. Maya's resentment flared occasionally, Alex's guilt overwhelming. But communication mended. A pivotal moment. Maya invited him to her garage, teaching him basic repairs. Laughter echoed as he fumbled tools, grease on his suit. See, Dad? Not so hard, she teased, the word Dad slipping out naturally. Alex's heart soared. They bonded over shared traits, stubbornness, innovation. Maya confided dreams, Alex mentored. Soon she accepted his offer to fund her shop, but on her terms, partnership. Together they designed Johnson Harrington Auto, blending luxury with accessibility. The grand opening drew crowds, Maya in the spotlight, Alex beaming beside her. Elena cut the ribbon, family united. The Mustang, now a symbol, sat proudly outside. Life wasn't perfect. Missed years couldn't be erased, but love filled the gaps. Maya wore the ring with pride, a reminder of serendipity. As months passed, the bond between Maya and Alex deepened, transforming from strangers to inseparable allies. Business boomed at the new shop, Maya's eco-innovations gaining buzz. Alex invested wisely, but let her lead. Family vacations followed. beaches, mountains, making up for lost time. Elena joined, the trio laughing over old photos. Maya pursued her degree full-time, Alex attending graduation, tears in his eyes. Challenges tested them. A rival company. Sabotaged. But together they prevailed. Maya met Alex's world, galas where she shone, turning heads. He entered hers, community events, grounding him. The ring, once a mystery, now a heirloom with stories. Friends marveled at the tale. Breakdown to family. Maya started a blog inspiring others. Alex reflected on growth, wealth meaning little without love. Their story spread, a testament to second chances. Years later, the Mustang still gleamed in Maya's garage, a relic of fate. Now a successful entrepreneur, Maya mentored young mechanics, especially girls of color. Alex, semi-retired, devoted time to philanthropy with her. Elena enjoyed grandchildren, Maya's kids playing with that ring. The shock of that first meeting faded into legend, told at gatherings. Life's twists, they learned, lead to beautiful destinations. From a roadside rescue to unbreakable bonds, their journey proved. Sometimes a broken engine fixes a broken heart.